Hi, I'm Mandy Ramirez. Wednesday, Dr. Patrick Hickey, clinical assistant professor in the College of Nursing at the University of South Carolina, came to LC to talk about caring for yourself today for a healthier tomorrow. He talked about his completions of the seven summits and how dreams can become reality. We stopped by for a closer look.
Mount McKinley in Alaska, got a beet red nose there because what happens when you mountain climb is the sun radiates off the snow and the ice. You actually burn the insides of your nose and almost like the palate in your mouth. It's so brutal, the sun. People think you're cold, which you are, but all the time the air is so dry and thin that your throat is sore. You feel like you're swallowing glass all the time. And we pay good money to go do this too. Well, we fly into the glacier here. I'm sorry, go backwards. We fly into the glacier. The biggest thing about McKinley is the cold. It is brutally cold. We spend more time building walls around our tents to protect us from the harsh conditions. Mount Elbrus in Russia was unbelievable. Tanks in the street, fighting going on when we were there. Karstens Pyramid, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is in Indonesia. If you can look closely, all these women, these are natives that live in the mountains. This was kind of our jumping off point to go up into the mountains. We flew in a missionary flight. I've got tons of stories, but not enough time. We flew on a missionary flight into the mountains to be with these villagers who didn't speak a word of English. We didn't speak their language. That tribal chieftain beside me, he's got a coquette on. It's a gourd that's over his penis. I felt kind of awkward when men were walking around naked like that. I didn't know, should I be doing this too? Or, you know, my wife said, why didn't you bring one of those things home? I said, I'm not going to bring one of those things home that a man had over his, you know what? Anyhow, I didn't bring one home. I brought the pictures. I was taller than him, so size does count. I'm taller. And this is Karstens Pyramid. It's an unbelievable climb. It challenged me in a bunch of different ways. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. And Antarctica, brutally cold. This was high camp here on the bottom right. Me summiting, barely getting on. We could have bare skin exposed. That's the view from the toilet. It was a squatter. Isn't that a beautiful? Can't you imagine just squatting there all day? Your muscles wouldn't hold you, but I mean, just sitting there all day, it's just a beautiful, there's nothing down there, it's just white, brutally cold white. And then Mount Everest, highest in the world, 5.5 miles, base camp is 17,600 feet, higher than anything in the United States. My wife holds me to the 29,035 feet because she says my stories keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I told her it snows on the top, so it does get a little bit higher. This is the route, basically the route to the summit. This is the typical south side of Everest with the Khumbu ice fall. For those that came in earlier, I was playing some of the videos from my climb. I'll play one on my summit vid here in just a minute. The Khumbu is a shifting river of ice. Towering 60, 80, couple hundred feet, towers of blocks of ice that can calve over in the late afternoon and kill people, unfortunately, because it's all that Khumbu area between Khumbu and Camp 1 is a shifting river of ice. We have to navigate on ladders to get across all these crevasses along the way. And we go up and down. We spent 2 months on Everest getting used to the altitude. You go up to Camp 1, touch it, and come down. A couple days later, you go up to Camp 1, spend the night, come down. A couple days later, up to Camp 1, up to 2, spend the night, come down. You leapfrog, that's how you climb all the mountains. You climb at night, you summit at night, because the sun is so intense that it just burns you, and the snow gets slippery, as you guys know, with a lot of intense sun, so you summit in the dark. That's why we're always wearing our headlamps and trying to climb at night when it's cold. Camp 4 is best described as hell. It's, I mean, I don't know what hell's like, and hopefully I'll never be there, but it's hell on earth in that it's just, no one lives at that level. Once you get into above Camp 4, it's called the death zone. Your body's breaking down, you can't metabolize, it's just an awful, awful place, and you don't want to spend much time there unless you're trapped by a storm, as some of us were.
The winds took down trees and power lines Friday. They even made keeping the car on the road a challenge. It was not nearly as windy Friday night as it was early in the day, but Friday night utility crews were still working on Langhorne Road. The power here at LC flickered several times, but never officially went out. Our neighbors up the road, however, were not as lucky. The wind broke down branches off trees in front of the college. Will has more coming up later in weather. Thursday was the opening night for the theater production, Merrily We Roll Along. The play focused on three friends and the struggles that life throws at them. We would like to congratulate the theater department for a job well done. Now for an update of national news. Here's Becca Loftus.
Tuesday, February 22nd, a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck Christchurch, New Zealand. Reportedly, the death toll has risen to 145 people, while there are more than 200 people still missing. Rescue crews have been searching through the rubble from the destroyed buildings and streets. The Christchurch Cathedral and the Cathedral of the Blessed Sacrament were hit hard, destroying some of New Zealand's iconic churches. The Canterbury TV building was destroyed, which had 90 students and faculty from the King's Education Language School. Rescue crews believe there is not much hope at this point for anyone left underneath the rubble. This earthquake was part of the aftershock sequence from a September 7.1 magnitude earthquake, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. In other news, Libya is currently in a state of crisis. Much like that of Tunisia and Egypt, Libya began protesting in the city of Benghazi against the government on February 16th, wanting their chief of state, Colonel Gaddafi, to end his 41-year rule. 3 days later, the internet was shut off in Libya because of the use of social networking sites to gather protesters. Colonel Gaddafi blamed the unrest in Libya on foreign hands polluting the community. Security forces opened fire at protesters at a funeral procession. These violent measures have led to roughly 84 deaths so far, and the injury and death toll continue to climb. There seems to be no end in sight for the unrest in Libya.
In quick briefs this week, it's the second time in 2 weeks that a Lynchburg store has been robbed. Friday night, the owner of Los Amigos says an armed man came in and pointed a gun at the clerk's chest, demanding money. It happened just before 7 p.m. on Lakeside Drive. If you have any information on this case, you are asked to call Lynchburg PD. Lynchburg College has received a $34,714 grant from the U.S. Department of Education to help low-income children throughout Lynchburg improve their skills. LC is one of only 11 colleges and universities nationwide to receive this federal work-study grant. The Learning Through Literacy Early Childhood Education Community Service Program will create a collaborative effort between Lynchburg College and 6 community early education centers. Anna Wright died in a single-vehicle accident last summer, leaving behind grieving friends and teammates. They are keeping her memory alive by raising money to drill 1 or more wells in northern Uganda. Anna was a health promotion major from Ashland, Virginia, scheduled to graduate this May. Anna was the starting goalkeeper for the women's soccer team and earned all state honors in 2009. Her loss has left gaping holes around campus. On March 1st, students will participate in a 5K, run, or walk in her memory. The race will begin at 4:30 p.m. at the Hornet statue near Turner Gymnasium. The entry fee is $15. On next week's show, INLC will have complete coverage of this event. And now, let's get caught up on some LC sports with Assistant Sports Director Becca Loftus.
In men's basketball, despite 22 points from junior forward Nate Campbell, the Lynchburg men's basketball team lost to Washington Lee University 66-51 in the first round of the ODAC tournament on Tuesday night. The loss ends the Hornets season. The Generals took the game over after the half, jumping up to an 11-point lead at the 13-17 mark of the second. Lynchburg, though, was unable to come back, falling 66-51. Sophomore Austin Chilemi led LC with 6 rebounds and chipped in 6 points as well. In his final game, senior Quentin Aldridge put up 4 points and grabbed 3 rebounds along with 2 steals. The Lynchburg finishes the season with an 11-15 record overall and a 6-10 record in conference. While the team loses Aldridge next season, LC expects to return forwards Campbell and Chilemi along with guards Tucker Lucas and Robbie Kaiser among a talented young squad of returning players. In women's basketball, their season came to an end Thursday afternoon in Salem, Virginia, as 8th-seeded Lynchburg College fell to top-seeded Randolph-Macon College 74-49. The Hornets drew the highest-ranked team in the league for its first ODAC tournament game under first-year coach Abby Pyzik. Randolph-Macon controlled the second half as the Yellow Jackets went on a 24-4 run to control the game. The Hornets were unable to come back, though, falling 74-49. Lynchburg's only senior, Courtney Brewer, led this Hornets with 11 points, and junior forward Caitlin Falls had an impressive game as she notched a double-double, scoring 10 points and snagging 11 rebounds. Freshman guard Rosalind Alexander chipped in 11 points as well. The Hornets finished the season with a 7-19 overall record and a 7-13 record in ODAC play. The team will miss the leadership and excellence play of senior Courtney Brewer, but LC will return 4 starters and will add to its talented young squad with next year's recruiting class. The Lynchburg College men's indoor track and field team captured its 14th straight indoor track and field title Friday at the 2010-11 Old Dominion Athletic Conference Championships hosted by LC at Liberty University. The Hornets had 163 points for the meet, followed by Washington and Lee University with 78, Bridgewater College with 67.5, and Guilford College with 60. First-year LC mentor Doug Thomasy earned the ODAC Coach of the Year award. Junior James Bell won 2 events for LC, the high jump and the pole vault, and finished second in the long jump with a leap of 6.31 meters, and was also third in the 55-meter hurdles, running in 7.98. Ryan Van Alsten won the mile race, finishing in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. The Lynchburg College women's track and field team got stronger as the day progressed Friday and ended as the 2010-11 ODAC Indoor Track and Field champions, and marked the 9th time LC won the title, but first since a three-peat in 2003, 2004, and 2005. LC scored 161 team points, with Roanoke College in second with 124, Washington and Lee University with 77, and Bridgewater College in fourth with 64. Ashley Allen took home the Scholar Athlete of the Year and Doug Thomasy as Coach of the Year. LC senior Jessica Gibbs won the long jump event, while LaCar Hubbard came in second in a busy day for both Hornet student athletes. Congratulations to both men's and women's track teams. In men's lacrosse, junior attack Dylan Hoff scored 3 times Saturday afternoon and added 3 assists as the Lynchburg College men's lacrosse team posted a 10-3 victory over Ohio Wesleyan University in non-conference play. They controlled the ball much of the game, aided by Jeff Schwartz winning 11 of his 14 faceoffs and added 5 ground balls. Frank Cook made 11 saves in 60 minutes in the net. In baseball, senior starting pitcher Matt Morgan pitched 7 solid innings as the Lynchburg College baseball team defeated Guilford College 9-2 on Saturday in the ODAC opener for both teams. In softball, junior shortstop Taylor Walker delivered 5 hits Saturday to lead the Lynchburg College softball team to 2 wins at the Methodist Early Bird Invitational. Walker was 3 for 4 and scored 3 runs as LC defeated North Carolina Wesleyan College 9-3 in the first game of the day. Lynchburg defeated Peace College 11-4 in the nightcap. Katie Bruce pitched 5.1 innings of 2-hit ball with 1 walk and 4 strikeouts to earn the win. Walker was 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, and Amanda Parker went 3 for 4. Fredenberg blasted a 2-run homer, and Tenney had 2 hits. That's all for sports. Back to you, Mandy.
Thanks, Becca. And now for a look at the week ahead with Chief Forecaster Will Stafford.
Now from the LC Storm Center, here is Chief Forecaster Will Stafford.
No concentrated wind this week, but as Mandy mentioned earlier, we had our fair share of wind around here on Friday. Good news is winds will really calm down this week by late week. However, we have to get past Monday night into Tuesday morning. That seems to be the bullseye time frame to get possibly our first chance at maybe some active weather setting up for you. The surface map at the time of taping, which is Sunday afternoon, front out to our west, pushing some rather potent storms out across the Arklatex. This storm system is going to move eastward on Sunday night. As it does so, it's going to spark off some storms just to our west. As that is happening, a warm front is going to rise northward, warming our temps on Monday into the low 70s. We think those storms will get to central Virginia sometime around Monday evening and have the best chance of seeing some of these storms go severe late Monday night into the morning on Tuesday morning. Main threat would be damaging winds and hail. However, you can't rule out an isolated tornado, but I think that it'll be at best only a slim chance of seeing one of those. Historically, on average, most tornadoes develop down into the Carolinas with the highest concentration down to Mississippi and Alabama. That isn't to say a tornado doesn't happen here this time of year, but they're uncommon, and the ingredients for tornadoes aren't really here in this particular system. Nevertheless, something you'll want to watch. The Facebook page will be in place for you to go to for up-to-date weather information on Monday night. The 7th day after this front exits, we're dry and seasonable for the rest of the week before some clouds roll back in for Friday and maybe some showers on Saturday. Again, keep an eye on Monday night into Tuesday morning. Check the Facebook page early and often, as we'll be giving the latest information out over that. Mandy.
Thanks, Will. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, I'm Mandy. See you next week, LC.